morning. How are you? I am not representing the Bureau of Internal Revenue. And I have checked the registration. Nobody's from BIR here. So please feel free to laugh, to comment, but don't throw questions regarding taxes. You can get a copy of our website. Okay? So I do not represent any multinational company here. I do not have property to share or anything to brag except that this is different. We've been around the country promoting tax awareness, and by the way, just to let you know, we are behind lowering taxes. So if that gives you a little relief, we are hoping that before the President steps down, we can again lower our taxes. To give you a brief history, before President Arroyo stepped down, she signed a bill that lowered our corporate tax from 32 to 30. Now we're hoping to lower it down to 25, and hoping that the individual tax rate, which is at least 2 decades old already, can be lowered down from 32 at least to around 20. I think that will make everyone happy, right? Okay, so who wants to pay taxes? Okay, not enough. Okay, let me start with my first slide. It's a blank. Because I haven't clicked my clicker, no, it's really a blank. This is not the typical rags to riches story. I intended to make this talk a little different because this might be my last chance to be invited as a young leader. So I made sure this is not a typical tax seminar. Otherwise, I'd be charging you more than what you paid here. Okay? So it's a blank because I'm 32 years old. 32 years ago until the next like 10, 15 years, I have nothing except respect for my parents, and I believe I was an obedient son. Meaning, I don't have a dream. I wake up in the morning, wait for the instruction of my mom, go to school, I go to school, go back home this time. I don't even speak English. I don't know how to communicate because my yaya is a provinciana who always watch this Valiente and all this teleserye. I don't go to movie houses because I live in Cavite. During that time, we only have Harrison Plaza as the nearest mall. That was 1980. So I have nothing. I have no dream. I just only have respect for my parents. Trusting them that my life will be okay because they are hardworking. So let me do this. Okay. Ayaw niya. Yan. I think I represent a typical Filipino. A young Filipino who was a big dream. Probably wants to be a millionaire, but also wants to have a stable life. And I got that from my parents. My dad left us to study, to work abroad in Saudi Arabia for a long time. Then my mom was a working parent. We really don't have much time to bond with them. I grew up with my yaya. So, just to give you a picture of my childhood, this is the first time that I'm doing this. Probably this is my last day on earth. At least I've shared it. That I really grew up with the love of my parents even if I don't see them. Because they are hardworking. And I asked my mom if she pays taxes. She said, she's an employee, what the fuck I'm asking. Therefore, she never had the chance to take hold of those pesos which were withheld at source. So, okay, sorry, I'm just asking, I'm the Tax Whiz. I have to make sure everyone around me pays taxes. Okay? So, okay. Then when my dad, sorry. Okay, thank you. You want to be my dad? Okay, this is my dad. No, that's, my dad passed away already, so I can't put this picture there. So, when my dad got back from working abroad, he set up his own business through the help of his friends. He became a good businessman. Befriended all government regulators, examiners, customs, became big. He has a company called Abrea Consulting. But he never had time with us. His life stayed abroad. He never goes home, well, at least every Sunday to attend Mass together. But other than that, in short, I didn't even learn how to play basketball because he wasn't there. So, before I cry, So to get his attention, I start trying to excel. Because I was already being bullied. I don't play basketball. They don't see my dad. People will take advantage of that. You're a weakling, or you're effeminate, you're probably gay, and all. I have nothing against them. But no, when you're being bullied, you can't do anything. So I try to excel. You know, there's attached to it is a certain leverage. When you're number one in class, when you're top of your batch, people in a way respect. So that's the way I got the attention of my dad. I get at least 500 pesos every week if I get perfect scores, if I top my class. I got his attention, and the bullying stopped in a way. So that's how I grew up and got the attention of my dad. Got all those awards, number one in class and all. So what happens next? Because he was so hardworking, his life is rags to riches. He didn't finish high school, but he persevered, he really worked hard. He gained a lot of money, I think millions of pesos. I asked my mom if my dad paid taxes, she's not sure. So anyway, but before I finished high school, family business went bankrupt. Simply because he got too immersed to all these vices. He became a womanizer. He is always out with the friends from VAR, from customs and everything. Until one day, all our cars, all properties, they all disappeared. And so, my dream. The family that I thought will take care of me suddenly disappeared. My dad got into drugs. My mom was unemployed because she was helping my dad. So I started again from nothing. So I grew up with no dream. Then before going to college, hoping to go to college, family business went bankrupt. So what happened? It's blank again. I have to start from scratch. But my mom, I think, is her superhero. We find a way to get a scholarship, my sister and myself. So I landed in San Beda College with a Metrobank scholarship. This is a full scholarship with monthly allowance. So I'm getting paid just to study. So I was very inspired. I'm not just getting attention of everybody. I was getting the respect, and I was being honored. So it's kind of addicting, no? When people are praising you left and right. So what happened? It continued. I enjoyed it. So I decided to make a dream, to plan for my future, and make sure that whatever mistakes my dad committed, I won't do it for my family. That I'll be extra careful. So I never blame my dad now when I blame him when I cannot go to college. But now, I kind of thank him. Probably he's here. That because of that failure, because of that bankruptcy, he made a good man out of me. So I did a personal roadmap. I tried excelling more. Became a Young leader. Finished my MBA in Ateneo. Things that I never thought I could afford. Because I had to pay for it. I had to work hard for it. I have no idea of taxes during that time. But because I had to come up with my plan, with my dream, I decided that in a way, God sustained me, my family, and everyone I love. So I had to give that. I'm not promoting Pinoy. What I'm saying is, I did a roadmap, but to do it right. Not to bribe, not to evade taxes, not to do anything that is illegal. A dream also for my country. And I'm standing here in front of you, hoping that I can be a good example. That I may not be as rich as anyone you know, but I can brag that I am an honest citizen of this country. I don't cross the street when it's still green. I give my license when the policeman will ask for it. But I also give my calling card and tell him, please don't get it, just my card, so that when you need help, you can call me. But I don't bribe. But they never call, so it's effective. Give your calling card, just change the number. So when they call, your secretary will answer it, and who's this? This is the Office of Commissioner Enares. Boom, they'll put down the phone. Okay. And so the mission continues. When my dad died, I promised I'd give back to our country. Anyway, we only have one country to live and to love. So I accepted a very, I think it's not just dangerous mission. I was actually a spy for 2 years. I stayed in BIR, worked, lived like an examiner, studied the system, and tried thinking how we can eradicate corruption in BIR. Only to find out it's systemic, that everybody is benefiting from it. That the laws are flawed. That we need to lower rates, to simplify it, to retire everybody, to close down BIR, to computerize it or privatize it. So the question now, is there still hope? After 2 years, exactly 3 months after when Kim Inares assumed office, I left the bureau. Then I promised my mentor, former Finance Secretary, Jess Stanislaw, that I'll come up with a plan. We'll try to make use of what I've learned in BIR. Not just to end corruption in BIR, but to make paying taxes a joyful engagement, a fulfilling activity. I'm crazy, but that's the plan. So, we started building organizations, networking with a lot of people, and during the first year, nobody wants to talk to me. Everybody was afraid. Until I started presenting information that they liked. What are these information? Who's really the boss when it comes to paying taxes? It seems whatever BIR says, that's the law. No one wants to pick a fight with BIR, right? But let's look at the data. They say that 80% of the government budget is collected by BIR. Let me correct that now. It's collected through BIR. 98% of our collection is voluntary. Whether we like it or not, we're actually paying 98% of the total collection of BIR. So what does BIR do? They harass all of us and collect the 2%. So I told now these key people, the secretaries, even the highest people in BIR, even Commissioner Hernandez, don't you think that you need to pay us respect and be grateful that we are giving you budget? Don't you think we deserve a posh lobby every time that we visit BIR? Everything is techy now. Don't you think there should be an application so that we don't need to fall in line and mess up while waiting for our queue? Don't you think you need to serve us more? Because we're giving more. Because we're giving you 98% of what you need. Of the total collection, 60% is coming from large corporations. The big fish. Why the hell are you making everyone's life miserable? Why don't you help the large corporations do their duty properly so that ordinary citizens need not fear BIR, need not hide, need not get in touch with the fixer, need not befriend the IDO, the godfather, the godmother, or whoever, just to get rid of the bureaucracy. And since we copied our tax code from US, until now, we have not revised the tax code. Why the hell do we pay documentary stamp tax? Why the hell do I have to pay when I die that I am rich? When I paid already 32% of all the taxes. They say it's not double taxation because it's triple or even quadruple. Since birth till death, we are paying taxes. My goodness, we should be receiving a love letter, a Christmas card, at the very least, from the government. And yet, when your loved ones will die now, under this administration, you get a letter from BIR, hey, file your estate tax return. So people are asking, Mom, is it true that even the dead people are being taxed? No. Because if poor people will die, they will not pay any tax. Only the estate, the property is left under the name of the one who died. So, somebody asked me, even the money? Yes, if you left it in the bank, that's why you put it under your pillow, no tax. If they die, just get it under the pillow because there's no document to transfer it. Because what is being taxed is the transfer. And these things we need to reevaluate. When you donate 30% tax, I was with Tito Boy last night and we were talking about the hammer which Miss Aquino announced, the presidential sister, giving to the BFF, Boy Abunda, hammer. The following day, Chris said, Boy will pay for the donor's tax, and that's 30% of the cost of the hammer. Then Tito Boy said, Mom, ganun ba talaga? It could have been better, but that's the situation you are at. It was announced publicly. But it could have been a form of compensation. So that it's not a donor's tax at 30%. Because it's a donation to stranger. So during the typhoon Yolanda, people are asking, are our donations subject to tax? Yes! At 30% according to our tax code, unless you course it through the government or BIR accredited NGOs. Not the dummy NGOs. No Naboles here. But how many of us actually know about it? So they always ask you, why do we fear BIR? Because it's either we lack knowledge or we are aware that we're not doing it right. And sometimes, both parties are guilty of greed. This is my hard-earned money. I should be the one enjoying it. But how about those who are paying taxes? How about the millions of employees who never had a choice but to accept their pay slip net of taxes? In 2013, just to inform you, 200 billion of the 1 trillion collection came from all employees. 200 billion. Versus the 600 billion collected from large corporations. I'm not saying large corporations should pay more. I'm saying that what I'm saying is employees should be paying less. They are fixed income earner for God's sake. Why burden them that much? And the crazy part here, there's a strategy to reform our tax system. There's a grand plan to collect all the taxes, but there's no budget. An examiner gets 15,000 monthly or 5,000 net of taxes every payday to collect millions of pesos. So don't ask me why there is a price whenever you deal with an examiner. And I don't even justify it. Remember, I am a former examiner. I went through the process. Somebody asked me, so, you accepted bribe money? Yes. What did I do with the bribe money? That's my secret. But just to prove to you, nobody can come out clean from here. It's a system that we need to remove, to improve. And to tell you honestly, the people in the AR, in a way, are victims of the system. They're living a lifestyle that they cannot afford. And their children are inheriting it. Nobody who gets to BIR who wanted to serve the country. I say, everybody, CPAs aiming to be in BIR as one goal, to make their first million during the first year. And so I did. Then and the rest is history. Because even bribe money is taxable. So, let's talk about some dark secrets of BIR. This is not really as dark as like dark, but at least things that we should know. We have 100 million population in the Philippines. There are only 12 million registered individual taxpayers. And we have 3,000 examiners. Therefore, there's no way that they can audit all of us. And yet, according to Commissioner Inares, they can audit at least 10%. The next question is, how come that the same companies are being audited every year? If you can only audit 10%, why focus on one company every year? I think there's a problem there. Then they said, it's random. Wow, random, and every year I'm audited. Wow, now that's random. And the assessment is the same every year. Wow, that's audit. Same assessment every year, and the amount is increasing. I challenge Commissioner Inares, why don't you review audit reports in the last 10 years, or pick one company, and the assessment for 3 consecutive years, you'll find out it's the same assessment. And the entire report is fabricated. Our objective is not to pick a fight with BIR. Our objective is to promote honesty. And I hope the next generation will be able to realize the importance of it. That honesty should still be the best policy. Not your degree, not your network, not your affiliation, not your position or your salary, but your values, your virtues, being honest. Unfortunately, it's not being rewarded. It's even being penalized. While I was being prepared for the interview, the makeup artist in ABS-CBN was talking about her horror story in registering as a makeup artist. Otherwise, they don't get any job in ABS-CBN. Then she told me, how come that we need to file, how come that we need to register? We're only making a small amount of money. Then the last 2 months after registration, we didn't get a job. So we didn't pay taxes. Then I asked her, did you file the return? Why will I file the return? We didn't make money. You have now a penalty of 1,000 for return per month. And she suddenly said, putang ina. Mas malaki pa yan sa babayaran mo ngayong buwan. Whatever I'll be collecting from BIR is just enough to pay that penalty. Putang ina. She said that 10 times. Then I told her, please, let's stop talking about your case. I might look like Dracula. She was really pissed off after hearing that she has to pay 1,000 pesos per return per month for the month that she didn't make any money. But because she registered with BIR, she has to pay the penalty. And the BIR that should help you, they try to harass and make a mess out of whatever situation you are at. So the voluntary compliance is now being challenged. Instead of people being encouraged to pay the right taxes, they'd rather get fixers, lawyers, settle this, do that. And once the BIR examiner comes in, they will have a budget to offer. So that is not. You want to focus on making business. You don't want to deal with BIR. So they hire a lot of people. So please, if you want to fix your problem, don't hire us. We're not fixers. We want to help people pay the right taxes. We don't want to make use of our network, of our competence, to bribe or get rid or go around the system. But what we're saying here is that we need to do something about this. Because it's unreasonable. It's not fair. So what is now our proposition? This is our proposal. Filipinos are known for bayanihan. Why don't we rekindle that spirit? The big guy should be paying big taxes. The small guy should be giving small contributions. Am I saying that we should accept everyone? No. Honestly, what I believe is that all of us should have a team number at the very least. All sari-sari stores at the very least pay 500 pesos. That's it. But at the very least, we should all be in the taxpayer base. 100 million in population, 12 million registered taxpayers. There's something wrong with those numbers. And harassing the 10% of those registered, while the rest remain unregistered and in the underground economy making billions of pesos and not paying a single tax. When Senator Recto lost the election for another term because of the increase in VAT from 10 to 12, we were hoping that we'll be collecting more VAT. Unfortunately, we didn't. So should we return it to 10? We should. But the idea is, if we lower the VAT, we cannot lower the income tax. Because the global trend is to depend on consumption tax. Because you can monitor it better than income tax. Income tax is arbitrary. Across the globe, it's voluntary. Therefore, the government will be very greedy to target collecting all income taxes because it will never happen. You only rely on what people declare. You can do your matching, your relief, whatever magic you have there. But the reality is you need to encourage people to pay taxes. They need to see where taxes go. They need to experience. They need to have a good experience in dealing with their government. They need to see that there are good public hospitals being managed or being administered. They need to see that traffic is being addressed. They need to see a quality, good, efficient public transport system. And unless we see that, it will be hard to give even a 1 peso tax to the government. And we don't need to be PhD holders or to come from Harvard to realize that this is not just economics. This is about uplifting the lives of every Filipino in this country. Especially those who are paying taxes. And we need to give our share. So what did we do? Rather than rally and complain, we presented a blueprint to the government, working with several institutions, telling them we have 3 strategic areas. This might be our only hope. 1, legislative. We need to overhaul our system. Early this year, we met in the Senate all the tax experts. I was the youngest. Then everybody was talking about shitty things I didn't understand. Then they asked me, "Mom, what's your take?" I told them, you know what? I think everyone in this room is guilty why we have this problem. We made a lot of money from the problem in our tax system, but we never resolved it. Don't tell me I'm the first person to realize that we are left behind in terms of taxes. We have too many taxes. We have very high tax rates. It's very costly to do business in the Philippines. In fact, all those investment grade, because the reality is it's hard to deal with our government. But are we saying that the government is inefficient? No, what we're saying is there are a lot of problems that we need to address, and we can only address it if we face the truth. The truth is, nobody wants to pay 32%. Nobody wants to pay 30%. Otherwise, all the firms will close down. Nobody will consult with them on how to lower their taxes. And if we are excited about the ASEAN integration, we need to make sure that our rates are competitive. Otherwise, all companies will register in Hong Kong, in Singapore, but they are here in the Philippines. And it's happening already. So ask me how much we are losing. We're probably losing trillions of pesos. And we don't realize it because we're just running after those who are not even running. They're doing a small business there and you raid them, you tax stop them, charge them with all these penalties. You promote SMEs and yet what do? All bazaars, register, issue receipts. Come on. How do we make this count? If you ask for receipt from bazaar, how do ladies can release their stress? You know, my mom and my sister, the only thing that makes them happy is to go to places where there's sale. There's bazaar. So if you ask for receipt, no more discount. We have to face realities. Otherwise, we're fooling ourselves. And ultimately, we promote honesty. So let's review some of the tax rates. Baka akala nyo, niloloko ko lang kayo. Corporate tax, look at that. Singapore, 17%. Philippines, 30%. Individual rates, Philippines 32%, in excess of 500,000 pesos. That's why nobody's declaring 1 million sales. Everybody's declaring losses. Because at 500,000, you will be paying 125,000 pesos tax. You'd rather pay, sir, a consultant, than to pay 125,000 outright of 500,000. And in excess of that, you pay 32%. So, what's the similarity between Chris Aquino, Manny Pacquiao, and Mon Abrea? We pay at 32%. Eh, 500,000 lang yan eh. I'm earning 501,000, so I pay 32%. Do you follow? And we say that our government and our country is ready for the ASEAN integration. I am no expert in other fields. I just know tax. And as far as I'm concerned, we're in big trouble. Withholding taxes. So much withholding taxes. Why do you think withholding taxes are not being lowered? Because the BIR is dependent on withholding taxes. 40% of our collection are from withholding taxes. And yet, they penalize withholding agents if they file late, if they don't do it properly. You ask everybody to withhold taxes to collect on your behalf, and yet you penalize them when they commit a mistake. So, it doesn't make sense. And nobody wants to question that. Why? Because we are all afraid that we get investigated, that BIR will focus on us, or that we mess up with them. We mess up with them. Well, surprise, I'm not afraid of them. We shouldn't be afraid of them. There's a problem, we need to address it. It's costly, we need to lower it. It's complicated, we need to simplify it. And we need to give credit to ourselves if we become honest citizens, not just in paying taxes. Otherwise, these rates will forever haunt us. How many of us can look straight in the eyes of our children that we are paying the right taxes at this rate? If there's consolation, all employees are honest taxpayers. Other than that, I cannot comment. I was asked if large corporations are paying the right taxes. I wrote it in my article in Manila. And my answer was, only their conscience and lawyers can answer that. I don't know. I can't answer on their behalf. What I know is that employees are paying the right taxes. And they have been burdened with this. So, the recent signing into law of the tax-exempt bonuses from 30,000 to 82,000 is just a consolation. It's not yet the thing that we need. We need to overhaul the system and lower the rates. Look at this table. Don't you agree? You can disagree. You can email me. You can post it in our Facebook if you don't agree. While the marginal income earners and the minimum wage earners are exempt, the middle working class are heavily taxed. And those who are not registered, those in the informal sector, underground economy, the black market, they're tax-free. And yet we keep on running after the middle class. The SMEs are just starting to do business. We have a bill that hopefully get passed before October. FYI, you only have like 8 months before the filing of candidacy. And then the next, they will all prepare, they will already campaign. So what's the bill? The bill to exempt startups for the first 2 years. There's another bill to exempt SMEs from the monthly compliances and all these reportorial requirements, whatever. Have you not asked yourself, why do SMEs or doctors or professionals being asked to manually accomplish the books of accounts when you have already encoded it in your Excel file? And they say because that's the requirement. And that's bullshit. We submitted to you electronic file. Why do you ask us to write it again? That's the point. So in order to sustain whatever we do, we register the business. We don't want to be underground. And it carried my name. Just to give you my word. That the Abrea commercial company that went bankrupt because of the mistakes of my dad, I'll try to do it right this time. But this is not just about me. I don't care about the billions of sales. We want to make sure we help a lot of people and we make good money. So, just to give you
everything begins with a great idea. Abrea Consulting Group helps you transform your ideas into real business solutions.
One of the words of America is never enough. It is always necessary that you have to get a different perspective, a different kind of expertise in order for you to be able to carry out your job properly.
Working with you as partners from inception to operation. Abrea Consulting Group offers the expertise, experience, and professional know-how to ensure that with anything and everything your business needs.
It's important to get the right consultant, to get the expert.
We believe that your ideas should take shape at the speed of information. We help create the environment for entrepreneurs and decision makers that allow ideas to lead the organization to where it needs to. Well,
Present some challenges.
we offer strategic insights and cost-effective solutions. Our experts go with you in every step of the way, in giving shape to your ideas and making your business work for you. We guarantee sustainable and measurable results through synergy and collaboration with your organization.
Create the best plan for the together.
Abrea Consulting Group will make sure you get there. We make your ideas real.
I'm not selling the company, I'm selling our advocacy. So we did register a foundation that will be committed to promoting honesty, to help SME development, genuine tax reform, and inclusive growth. We'll be distributing the inclusive growth report so that you see that it can happen, that it's possible. And we are working not just with the government, but with a lot of NGOs and other business organizations. So this is the advocacy. Hindi ako pwedeng kainin ng sistema at masyadong malakas ang sistema para sa maliit na tao katulad ko. That will begin in the Philippines, that honesty will be rewarded. So in closing, sorry I've taken much of your time. In closing, we've been around the country, we've been going to provinces, to a lot of cities, informing everyone that a genuine tax reform can only happen if we will start with us. Reform starts with me. Do not blame BIR. Stop blaming the government. Let's work together, even if we have differences, even if we have different dreams. We have one country to love. We have one country to live. And this is the end of the presentation. I hope our foreigner friends will understand it.
Wala ng pag-asa. Hindi kami naniniwala na kami ang daan sa pagbabago. Kung talagang iisipin, ang kabataan, ang pag-asa ng bayan, ay isang malaking kasinungalingan. Dahil ito ang totoo, imposible na ang tunay na pagbabago. Sa hinaharap, masasabi namin walang problema sa pamumurakot, katamaran at kamangmangan. Hindi totoong mahalaga ang pagbabayad ng tamang buwis at pagsunod sa batas. Malinaw sa amin na mas mahalagang kumita kaysa magmalasakit sa bayan. Hindi namin kailanman iisipin na kaya namin maging ilaw sa gitna ng kawalan ng pag-asa. Naniniwala kaming wala ng solusyon ng mga problema sa lipunan. Hindi dapat isipin na kaya pa nating ayusin ang bulok ng sistema. Sa mga darating na panahon, masasayang lang lahat ng mga pinaghirapan ng ating mga bayani. Hindi kami naniniwalang kaming mga kabataang Pilipino ay maaari pang ituring ng makabayan. Gagamitin namin ang aming mga kakayahan para kumilos sa ngalan ng sariling interes at pagiging komportable. Hindi dapat mag-isip o makiramdam para sa kabutihan ng lahat. Makikita ng buong mundo na ang mga kabataan ay wala ng pakialam. Kabaliwan kung iisipin na may pag-asa pa. At lahat ng ito ay magiging totoo kung hindi natin sasaluhatin. May pag-asa pa. Kabaliwan kung iisipin na ang mga kabataan ay wala ng pakialam. Makikita ng buong mundo na dapat mag-isip o makiramdam para sa kabutihan ng lahat. Hindi sa ngalan ng sariling interes at pagiging komportable. Gagamitin namin ang aming mga kakayahan para kumilos. Kaming mga kabataang Pilipino ay maaari pang ituring ng makabayan. Hindi kami naniniwalang masasayang lang lahat ng mga pinaghirapan ng ating mga bayani. Sa mga darating na panahon, kaya pa natin ayusin ang bulok ng sistema. Hindi dapat isipin na wala ng solusyon ang mga problema sa lipunan. Naniniwala kami, kaya namin maging ilaw sa gitna ng kawalan ng pag-asa. Hindi namin kailanman iisipin na mas mahalagang kumita kaysa magmalasakit sa bayan. Malinaw sa amin na mahalaga ang pagbabayad ng tamang buwis at pagsunod sa batas. Hindi totoong walang problema sa pangungurapon, kataparan at kamangmangan. Sa hinaharap, masasabi namin ay posible na ang tunay na pagbabago ay isang malaking kasinungalingan. Dahil ito ang totoo, ang kabataan, ang pag-asa ng bayan. Kung talagang iisipin, kami ang lahat sa pagbabago. Hindi kami naniniwala na wala ng pag-asa.